Shalom, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakak Wadash, double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone that teach us the truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakak Wadash. Peace, love, and blessings to the elect scattered around the four corners of the earth, mainly in Babylon the Great, America, all right, which we know spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, pursuing the Revelation, the 11th chapter and verse 8. And also pursuant to the future prophetic books and future destruction of Babylon, as the scriptures say in Isaiah the 13th chapter, Isaiah the 14th, Isaiah the 19th chapter. All right, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, so on and so forth, all the way to the book of Revelation. All right, if your eyes can receive this wisdom, knowledge, understanding through the spirit and power and the names of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, pray that you're of the elect, pray that you're endured to the end, and pray that you resist the hour of temptation through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So basically, this is a part 2 lesson, all right, going into economic woes. And, you know, the title that I put up for the first video was, but people want to stay here, shaking my head, pathetic. Because ultimately, in a nutshell, that's how you know that at the end of the day, this real truth, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding was not and is not, you know, has not been given to every and anybody. All right, because for one, everybody believed that who the world English called Jesus Christ died for the whole world, died for all nations, all manner of people, not understanding and comprehending John chapter 3, verse 16. All right, going into the Greek cosmos, which ultimately goes into the world of Israel, because as it say in Luke chapter 1, verse 68, and also Matthew 1 and 21, that the Lord died for the sins of Israel, his people. All right. And his peoples are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indian descent, so-called Haitians and Jamaicans, according to your father's lineage, and also the speckled bird, the confusions of faces out there that look like the heathen nations, but their spirit go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, Yasha Allah, Israel. All right, and we, you know, us at Great Millstone, starting off with our elders and apostles, all right, that do rule well and are worthy of double honors. They taught us that, all right, according to the Bible, according to the scriptures, and according to the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, but without further ado, I'm gonna just go straight into it for the title of my lesson, going into economic woes, calamities, because Babylon the Great America is going to witness a turmoil of economic destruction, which is all going to lead to the MOTB, whether people believe it or not. It's all going to lead to that digital ID, which, according to the UK, you know, officials in Parliament, by January 1st of next year, you know, they're going to push out and promote the real digital ID. All right, so I got some news articles and so on and so forth, but let me read the first precept, going into Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me up upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. All right, us being the, as they say in the AMP, his spokesman, being the spokesman of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, being the mouthpiece, the true prophets. We come out week in and week out to prophesy the collapse of this current empire, as it says in Jeremiah chapter 28 and 8. Let me get that. Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's what's coming upon Babylon the Great. And the true prophets always prophesy of the future destruction that was going to happen between different empires. Because at the end of the day, all these empires are, ruled by men, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And that's Daniel, the 4th chapter, verse 17. Let me get that. Because we got to understand the times we're living in and who's really in control and whose purpose is really truly is. Daniel 4 and 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, all right, the prophets, all right, and the man by by the word of the holy ones, also, the prophets, going into also the angels, all right, because if we be of the elect, we were the first estate of angels that helped create the planets, the world and the heavens, along with Lord Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. All right, being the first state of the angels. All right, which we lost our estate and fell into these chains of darkness, aka the flesh. All right, knowing both good and evil. And the Lord has always dealt with his prophets, pursuing the 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter, verse 32. To the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the bases of men. It said the humblest and the lowest of men, but the bases of men is really going into Esau Edom. All right, because that's who the Lord done gave this world dominion in the hands, gave this world to the Edomites, into the hands of the wicked, pursuing the Job chapter 9 and 24. All right, ultimately for the latter end, it said basis, the person actually feeling without moral principles. Yep, without moral principles. And that's damn sure Esau. All right, it's not talking about Israel. All right, because we are the lowest and the humblest out of all the nations that the Lord created. But in this particular scripture, it's talking about, the kingdom of men, ultimately the rulerships of the heathen. All right, because going all the way back to Deuteronomy, all right, even though we did have our fair share in ruling in different empires and kingdoms, it all came to naught because it was not ordained. Well, it was ordained by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to fall, but it wasn't ordained by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for it to keep at a risen state. All right, to be on top and on rulership. That was just a certain period of time that the Lord had mercy and a grace that we ruled mainly during the dark ages. All right, during in the past, during the time of the kings and so on and so forth. All right, but now us being in Daniel, the 2nd chapter, all right, from those empires on down, we never ruled, man. All right, except, during the time of the dark ages, and Esau Edom came back into power during the Renaissance. Pursuing the Malachi, the 1st chapter, going into Esau being impoverished, and also Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4. That after 1,000 years, all right, they was going to be loose for a little season. And that started through the Renaissance period. All right, so the Lord is in control of all these things and all these different empires and rulers ruling in the planet Earth. All right, and in due time and due season, the Lord is going to uplift the children of Israel, and we're in that time now. Let's go back to Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets, Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's what we're doing. All right, we're prophesying, no peace. All right, we're not likened unto the false prophets, as it say, I believe, in Jeremiah chapter 6 and 14. All right, for they say peace and peace. For they shall say peace and peace, but there is no peace, man. There are no peace unto the wicked, and it damn sure the wicked is in rulership. Job 9 and 24, and also 2 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. See, we understand, of course, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, starting off with our elders and apostles, a great millstone, we understand the times we're living in. All right, the heathens, by their tribes, by their, their true biblical identity, their names. All right, and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, we have been given that grace and that mercy to receive this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, mainly Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, for his great sacrifice. All right, Revelation, the 5th chapter. Only him can unloosen the seals. And he is the door, to the way back to the Father. All right, John, the 10th chapter. So we understand these things, man. And that's what's definitely going on in the world. War, evil, and pestilence. Evil means bad timing. And that's definitely what's going on in Babylon and Great America and all around the world. All right, 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1 on down to 3. All right, 2nd Ezra the 15th chapter, 2nd Ezra the 16th chapter. All right, letting you know the end times and how it's going to look. And also 2nd Ezra the 6th chapter, man. Verse 22 on down to 24. All right, you can read verses up as well. But it's letting you know in the latter time, roughly paraphrasing who's going to be in rulership, what's going to be happening during those times. All right. And what's the end all be all. So let's go back to Habakkuk. Like I said, Salakia is, something just quick through the spirit. All right, going into the economic destruction and woes, which ultimately is going to lead to the MOTB system. All right, to the new digital currency. All right, the NWO. All right, the fourth industrial revolution. All right, that's what these and it's so crazy because that's what these elites are talking about, man. The higher ups. All right, not you average, so-called white people that live in America. All right, that think that Vietnam, that the United States won the Vietnam War, and they clearly didn't. All right, you can do a Google search yourself. That clearly think that those people in the land today, in the Holy Land of Jerusalem, Israel, are the true descendants according to the scriptures, according to the Bible, according to prophecies. All right, which is also a lie too. Like I said, because people, you don't know, man. You don't know. Hey, like I said, it'd be so funny because when you ask, like when people inquire shit, or they got something to say, when you real life start asking them personal, real life questions, them bitch ass niggas run away. Excuse my French. Because like I said, me personally, I be tired of these fucking people. Just leave it up to the prophets to let it be known what it is and what it ain't. And that starts off with our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. All right, that done the due diligence and the research, the much studying, the much sacrifice, being in this truth, having the faith, 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, and still growing. All right, still, learning, finding out new things. All right, still searching the scriptures daily. All right, and those are our elders and apostles, man. All right, no matter what you emotional guys have to say about the elders and apostles, man. If it wasn't for them to be out there on the highways and byways, I promise you niggas would not know who the fuck you are, bro. And that is the truth. You would not know who you were. You would not know nothing about Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, whatever the case. You would have never found out nothing. All right. It's Habakkuk 2 and 2. And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. All right, make it plain upon the scriptures. All right, pursuing Romans 15 and 4, these scriptures were written before time and written for our learning. And let me get it. Like I said, I'm about to start up camping a few, but hey, I just want to do this lesson through the spirit, and the spirit definitely is on me. Because hey, at the end of the day, Salakia, I can't shut up, and I feel lovely. I feel great bringing out this word and this truth, man. And that's how you're supposed to feel. All right, when them scriptures be flying, all right, hey, it's time to prophesy, man. When them scriptures be flying in the mind, it's time to prophesy, man. Romans 15:4, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. All right, confidence in his promises in the AMP. All right, we have the confidence that we got to be the chosen people of the Lord, especially according to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, especially that last verse. You cannot tell me who who came over here to the Americas in cargo slave ships, so-called African, which according to the Zondervan Bible Dictionary scholars, it's the difference between Ham and Shem. All right, look up the definition of Ham in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. All right, it will behoove you. All right, and then on top of that, Second Ezra, the 13th chapter, going to the 10 tribes that came over here to the Americas, because at the end of the day, you so-called Caucasian people, you white people, did not discover America. You came over here, you noticed some people, and you raped, robbed, and murdered the people, man. Salaki. All right, you took advantage of a humble nation, man. The tribes, you took advantage of the tribes. It's just the God honest truth. And Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah remembers that. And that's why at the end of the day, the Lord has put this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, this truth in the earth, so that we can return back into the remembrance, so that the elect can be sealed, and so that the Lord can throw down this place, man, destroy this place, along with the 2/3. All right, because we know, according to prophecies and according to these people minds and their thoughts, that Stockholm syndrome, they want to keep trusting in this place. Hey, Babylon the Great is going to be your shame, man. It's going to be your confusion, especially when all hell breaks loose, when this society collapses. So all these things were written for our time and written for our learning, so that through the scriptures that we may have hope, we have confidence in the promises. All right, that we come back to our remembrance, pursuing the Baruch chapter 2 and I believe 29 on down to 31 or 32. Habakkuk 2:2. And the Lord answered me and said, and the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And you see it, and that's going into the prophecies. Verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. It said, look at the proud one. His soul is not right within him. All right, because, hey, man, all you got to do is do the research on the 4 founding fathers of America. All right, do the research on so-called Caucasian people. All right, the Roman Empire, the Greco-Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire. All right, all these different nations that these so-called white people done ruled in, and tell me if they are a righteous people. Let me know, you know. And like I said, the damages are done. It's already in the history book. And Esau Edom none dished out so much fucking bloodshed out here. All right, to the point they trying to, you know, rewrite the history books. Critical race theory, supersessionism. It was another one. I know critical race theory, supersessionism, and it's another one. Elder Apostle Tahar had went into it, but just they're just trying to rewrite the history in Salakia that I can't remember. That's how it be sometimes, you know. But continuing on. But the just shall live by his faith. All right, the just are the elect of Yasha Allah. Even though Israel is the righteous nation, but even amongst them, pursuing the Jeremiah 5:26, for among my people are found wicked men. All right. Verse 5, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Esau Edom can never be satisfied. All right, he is a proud man that does not keep at home. That's why at the end of the day, the United States are always in the business or in the affairs of foreign relations. All right, they're always in the mix. And that's why ultimately through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, all right, the Lord is going to make, all these people that was enemies against them and still are today are going to utterly burn her with fire. All right, Joel, the 3rd chapter, verse 9, let the weak say I am strong. Prepare for war. All right, ye Gentiles, you natural born Gentiles. The Lord is preparing all these heathens to hate Esau, Edom. Starting off, over here in Babylon the Great, and also the hats, man. All right, that's another thing that's going on, and it's getting so bad, and they're being so despised amongst the earth. They're making laws, they're writing laws and legislations to so-called protect them. All right, and that's another topic for another video. And they're passing all types of laws out here now. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. Isaiah the 10th chapter. All right, this is the wicked that the Bible speaks of. The man that throws the rock and hide his hand and blame other people. All right, because even today, in today's time, these Edomites still do not believe that they have to pay back for what the hell their forefathers did. Because their main excuse, that wasn't me, that was my forefathers. Why do I have to pay for what they did unto you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans? Same way we got, we fell because of our disobedience. All Israel has transgressed, because at the end of the day, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah judges lineages. All right, he judges bloodlines, man. All right, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Just like how he judged the bloodline of Israel, all right, he's going to judge the bloodline of the heathens, ultimately Esau, Edom. All right, and also I'm thinking of Isaiah the 14th chapter, verse 21, because you are your forefathers, man, whether you believe it or not. If your lineage go back to Esau, Edom, you will always and forever hate Jacob. I don't give a damn how many so-called black friends you have. All right, like I said, and it just be so funny when white people really try to plead a case, like, because it's no case to be plead, man. The only case that needs to be plead when Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah judge you and put you underneath subjection, when you're not going to be on top anymore. That's the only way we're going to forgive you heathens, man. And I'm trying to watch my French because I want this video to go out. That's the only way we're going to forgive you. Let bygones be bygones. All right, let everything go back to its natural order. When the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah puts you underneath us as servants, slaves, handmaids. All right, numerous of scriptures on that. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. All right, himself wealthy with loans. All right, and that thick clay is abatia. Yep, abatia. Wages of pledge, heavy debts. And that's why the debt clock in Babylon the Great is so massive. And guess what? It's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse from here on out. All right, only evils, only destruction is coming upon this place. Ezekiel 7 and verse 5. I'm reading the AMP. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Alahayim powers. A disaster is coming, one so destructive and injurious, so sudden and violent that it stand alone, a unique disaster. Look, it is coming. All right. An end is coming. The end has come. It has awakened against you. Look, it has come. Your doom has come to you, O inhabitants of the land. O inhabitant of the land. The time has come. The day is near. Tumult rather than joyful shouting on the mountains. Ultimately, Esau, Edom, going into the heathens, being in power and rulership. Their end is coming. And also the end of Jacob. All right. The end of the 2/3. All right, believing in Babylon the Great. Isaiah 30, verse 9 on down to 10, Isaiah 31. Also, in the same chapter in Isaiah 30, verses 1 through 3. All right, because our people really here, like I said, and like the elder apostle Tahar always say, here your black asses was dragged by force to come over here in chains. They kill innocent men, women, children. Well, I can't say innocent because going back to Job 4 and verse 7. But he killed vulnerable people. He touched the apple of the Lord's eye, man, at the end of the day. All right, he destroyed the Lord's people. You're not gonna go unpunished, Esau Edom. That's just what it is, man. And we say, yeah, the Lord used you to be that whooping stick upon us, but guess what? The Lord's still gonna destroy you. That ain't gonna change. That ain't never gonna change. All right. And I'm glad the water Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah for the power that can do whatever the hell he wants to do. All right. Look, it is what it is. I'm for it, man. All right, so let's go into the script. I went into this scripture, the other day. I want to get also second Esdras. Esdras 6, 22. Let me probably about to wrap it up, close it up, because I'm about to start camp soon. Come on now. Make sure I'm still going. All right, microphone still on. Cooking with grease, baby. Cooking with grease. Second Ezra 6 and 22. Planted fields would suddenly become bare, and full barns would suddenly become empty, going into the storehouses. All right, if you read it in the KJV, barns would suddenly become empty. Then the trumpet will sound, and sudden terror will grip the heart of everyone when they hear it. Friends will fight like enemies, and the earth and its people will be terrified. Rivers will stop flowing and stand still for 3 hours. All right. Those who survive all these things that I have predicted will be rescued when I bring to an end this world that I created. To never die. Okay. And that's going into the elect. Going into verse 25. Those who survive, man. All right. The end of Esau world. The end, Job 6. Not Job. Salakia. Second Ezra 6 and 9. All right. But enemies, friends shall fight like enemies. And that's coming close too, because for the lack of bread and for great tribulation that's about to happen upon this place. And that's, one of the reasons that's going to lead to that is financial economic collapse. Second Ezra 15 and 19. Driven by famine and terrible suffering, people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. All right, it's just that simple. Because for the lack of bread, all right, for the lack of resources, tribulation, the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, is going to allow these people to run havoc in the streets of Babylon the Great. But also you got to remember, like it says in verse 17, there will no longer be free access to the city going into martial law. All right, Esau Edom, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah controlling these devils, he been had this NWO game plan for the longest, man. It was always in his heart. All right, having that problem reaction solution. They cause the problem and they try to bring in, they cause the problem They see the people, how they react. Then with the reaction of the people, that's when they bring in a solution. All right. And when this dollar collapse, which they're going to cause, which they're causing it now, and they're going to cause themselves. All right. They're going to have a solution through all the panic. And that solution is the MOTB, Revelation 13 and 16. All right. And Lord will, I'll talk about that in the midst of camp. Okay. So let's go into chat GBT, economic woes in the Bible. It says, yes, economic woes are described throughout the Bible, often as consequences of sin, judgment, injustice. All right. And the curses, Deuteronomy 28 and 15 through 68, is part of the covenant curses. God warns Israel that disobedience will bring poverty, hunger, and financial oppression. Come on now. Them people over there, they're not suffering unless you over here in Babylon the Great America. And even within that, if you know the right people and the right words to say, you can be blessed like the rest of the hatters, man. The rest of the ish people. All right, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, they're not the people of the Lord, man. Not according to biblical prophecy. 2 Kings chapter 6 and 25, Samaria suffers a famine so severe that people pay huge prices for the least edible things, like a donkey's head. And that's going into inflation, soon to come hyperinflation. All right, because every time you turn around, especially you heathens, man, mainly talking about you white people, you love to complain about them prices. And that's how you know that they can't be the people of the Lord. They so fucking weak, man. Here you still prices going up, but you can spend hundreds, damn near thousands of dollars on groceries. You got a good stable savings account. You got all these different accounts that can help you get loans and so on and so forth, but you still find a way to fucking complain. That's why I say, man, these devils got to go, man. All right, at the end of the day, these devils have to go. And they're not the people of the Lord. Because if they were, they'd be strong, man. All right, we've been at the bottom for so long. We done got used to this shit. I know me personally, I have. And especially me being in the truth, I'd be scared to get a little extra couple funds here and there, man, to get rich all of a sudden. All right, but some other people, they want to chase the bag, and that individual know who I'm talking about, whether he listened to the video or not. And that's a damn shame on that man's behalf. But that's another video for another day, like I said before. But going on to this, man. At the end of the day, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is allowing these economic woes to happen. All right. You got the real digital ID. Type in the state of the dollar, the US dollar. It says the US dollar has genuinely weakened in 2025. All right, letting you know. Like I said, all you got to do is type it up, man. Just do your own research. The valuation of the US dollar, the BRICS nation. All right. At the end of the day, Babylon is not going to be healed. This place is destined and prophesied for destruction to happen. At the end of the day, you people can't do nothing for it, or you can't do nothing, man, for Babylon the Great. Jeremiah 51 and 8, Babylon is suddenly falling and destroyed. Howl for her, take palm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto the heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. All right, it's time for judgment, baby. It's time for Babylon the Great to be thrown down through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. That's why at the end of the day, it's all about prophecies going, straight forward. All right, and it's ultimately about doom and gloom, and redeeming the times, because it's definitely evil. So with that, I'm going to close out by giving all praise, glory, honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone that teach us the truth. Peace, love, and blessings to the elect scattered around the four corners of the earth, mainly in Babylon the Great. All right, which ought to be destroyed through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Till next time, I say shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom, shalom.